RM Sotheby's is the world's largest collector car auction house by total sales. They are the preeminent market maker of high-quality collector cars and collections, regardless of size or complexity. By working in partnership with the Sotheby's team and its network of 80 offices in 40 countries, RM Sotheby's has established the largest client network of any collector car auction house in the world. Join the RM Sotheby's family by connecting with one of their car specialists at rmsotheby's.com or contact me directly at GStanley at rmsotheby's.com. LLC TLC is here to save you money on all of your vehicle purchases. LLC TLC will permanently register your classic cars in Montana to avoid any annual renewal fees. As your registered agent, they will handle everything for you so you never have to step foot in Montana. And as a listener of this podcast, LLC TLC is offering 30% off your entire package. Simply go to llctlc.com/classic or mention this podcast when you contact LLC TLC directly. Hey, it's Greg Stanley. Welcome to the Collector Car Podcast. I'm calling this episode the King Size Hershey episode, getting ready for Hershey Fall here. And I'd like to kick it off with Steve Moskowitz. Steve, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Greg. Good to talk to you.
You too. Now, we met at Greenbrier a while ago. Yep. And I mentioned, I am not a Hershey native. I've been there a few times. Believe it or not, I've never been to Hershey Car Week. I will be there this year. And I want you to kind of give my listeners an overview of not only what you do with the AACA, but for a newbie that's going to Hershey, kind of what can they expect and keep an eye out for, and maybe, some stuff that you like to do during the festivities.
All right. Well, there's a lot to talk about.
Naturally.
That's a lot. This is a big event. We'll keep what I do is kind of short. They gave me the title of CEO. I run the office here in Hershey. We have a beautiful new 30,000 square foot facility where we house what I believe is the world's largest automotive library. We have about 3 million pieces of literature, and it's a free public library. It's open to anybody and everybody. We also have our staff offices here, and our atrium is full of some really, really nice cars. So this is Car World here in Hershey, and we have about 45,000 members of the club worldwide, and we service their needs with national events and support their regions and chapters, and just do a lot of stuff to help support the hobby. Have a great website with forums for other car clubs, which we give away for free as well. So we just want to see the hobby thrive. And going along with that, for almost 70 years now, we've had the world's largest true antique car show here in Hershey. You can never exaggerate it to somebody, because every time somebody comes here, they say, well, you didn't tell me it's that big. It is that big. We've got roughly 9,000 flea market spaces, about 700 cars in the car corral when it's full. We have a car show on Friday for 1,000 vehicles, from motorcycles and everything from the 1890s to all the way up to 1999 now. So it's a crazy week. A lot of car clubs have meetings here. RM has a phenomenal 2-day auction. This year it's just off the charts. And there's talent nights. But the big draw from people all over the world is the flea market. They say if you can't find it in Hershey, you can't find it anywhere. In many cases, that's absolutely true. We all know eBay and the internet has opened up the world to a lot of other people, but there's still nothing like looking somebody in the eye and grabbing that part and making sure it's exactly what you need. And then all the friendships and the fun. You're about to have a great experience, and we finally can call you a true car guy because you've been to Hershey.
It's about time, right?
It's about time.
It's funny, the last 4 years, because RM's up until recently has only been a consulting part-time gig. The last 4 years I had planned to go, but my day job, we always have a national meeting that same exact week, the last 4 years, and it's been absolutely killing me. But now I'm free and clear, so I will be there. Now, I have to talk about the fact you said if you can't find it at Hershey, you can't find it. That is so true because my last name is Stanley. I don't think you can see it in the pictures, but behind me on the wall there, last year I asked one of the car specialists with RM Sotheby's. I said, I really want to have a Stanley steamer, logo from like the brass logo from the grill. Well, they don't have grills, but you know what I'm saying, from the front of the car,
Sure.
on the wall in my office. And, you can't find them online, can't find them, unless they're reproductions. And it's hard to see, but there is above me popping a wheelie in my motorcycle right up there.
Okay.
It's there. And then on the other side, there's a little tiny Stanley badge that they found as well, made of brass. And I had been looking for like a year and a half, and sure enough, they went to Hershey to the swap meet and they found both of those. So
Yeah, it's just amazing. I've been coming. Oh, my first year was in 72. I didn't have very much money. I slept in my car for 3 days. Didn't take a shower for 3 days. Uh, they smelled me all the way back to the Chicago area. Um, but the parts that I found I've had parts that I've searched for 20 years for brass cars that I was doing. Couldn't find them, and then all of a sudden they're here in Hershey. So it's still that way. It's still um, the fun of the hunt and the fun of going around, and you never know. Some of the newbies, they'll walk past a guy with 57 Chevrolet parts, but they won't look closely because you never know what else somebody's brought. So they may have that one 1920s ignition switch that you've been searching for forever sitting right in the middle of the pile of 57, and the guy doesn't know what it is, and you
yeah, you
go
never
and
know.
you got it, and you get it for normally a good price.
Well, I will do a little recap after Hershey because if people on my e-newsletter that people seem to like, from Monterey, I averaged 8.1 miles a day. I have a suspicious feeling I will be walking further than that at Hershey. So I will recap that for sure.
Yeah, if you would walk every bit of the event, you're walking about 25 miles.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
so bring good shoes. We tell everybody bring shoes, bring a change of shoes, bring clothing for 90-degree weather, for 50-degree weather, for sunshine, for rain, for snow, whatever. You never know. We've had pretty good years the last few years, and knock on wood, hopefully this will be a great year.
That's awesome. Well, before I let you go, I do want to know a couple things about you personally. So the week of the big Hershey Fall, what are you doing? Are you coordinating clubs? Are you running around, kissing babies and shaking hands like the town mayor? What are you doing that week?
It's a really really busy week. We start out with a board meeting here, which is always fun, and then start following up. Our club is over at the flea market as well. We have several vending areas, so I'm overseeing them, overseeing merchandise. There's tons of people that want to talk to me, other car clubs that want to talk to us about some joint events. So I'm always talking to them. We have a car for sale at RM Sotheby's this year, and so
Which one's
uh,
that?
excuse me.
Which one is that?
That's the 30 Lincoln, the one that reportedly was owned by the president of Cuba in the
Oh,
30s.
yes. Yep.
So it's a super nice car. The MB Center up in Allentown, Keith Flickinger, did a great job just getting it all set up for us for selling at the auction. It runs great. So it's going to make somebody a nice car. It's got full side curtains and just a big old boat that will get up and go for touring if you like early touring. So we've got all that. Of course, we've got our big car show on Friday with the 1,000 cars. I'm one of the national award judges. So we have that. Our library, I forgot to mention that, on Tuesday night from 4 to 7, we have a literature sale. So we take our excess literature, our duplicates, and we sell them for bargain basement prices. We'll have 2 full tents out here. There's a couple other organizations that will have people out here. There'll be quite a few writers of books will be there and autographing their books and selling them here. And the Buick Heritage Alliance will have their own little tent. So there's just a myriad of things that are going on during the week that every year it's a little bit different, but um, it keeps me hopping. I don't get home any night before 11 o'clock. So it's a busy week, and we're over there on the flea market at 6:30 in the morning.
Right, right. Awesome. Well, I know that is a lot of work. Appreciate all that because it sounds like it really is a big deal and quite an event. So I do have two more questions for you.
Yep.
One is I know I have an orphan car brand in my garage with my Pontiac GTO. I know you had a career with an orphan car brand, unfortunately. So if you would tell us just a little bit about your history in the car world from a career perspective, but then also if there's anything cool in your garage you could share with our listeners.
Okay. Well, I'm one of the fortunate people in life I know the exact second that I decided that I was going to do something professionally in the car world, and that
Yep.
was when I was in seventh grade. And I can picture the moment the light bulb went off. And then I went to work ever since then, trying to make sure that that happened. Worked in body shops and worked as mechanic as I went to school to be a teacher in auto mechanics, and ended up going to work for Oldsmobile division as a factory service rep. And after a few years of corporate life, despite my success there, one of my dealers hired me away, double the salary, and chance to kind of be my own boss at the dealership with the service parts and body shop. And eventually I took over as general manager. Then I bought the place. And so for 30 years, I was at a Oldsmobile dealership in Maryville, Indiana. We also had Yugo and DeLorean. So uh,
Nice.
we had some
More
interesting
orphan
times.
brands.
Yeah, we did have some interesting times, but I was very involved with Oldsmobile. I was on all their national committees, national boards. Um, just, just was a big fan. I was thrilled to death that I had a chance to go to work for them and thrilled to be a dealer. So I got involved with their antique car program, started restoring cars with a friend of mine for them, and building some scratch cars that they wanted that were from their history, and got to do a lot of motorsports events, which led to the Indy 500 while Oldsmobile was running the Aurora V8, and just did an awful lot of stuff. So naturally, uh, my office, my home is pretty well devoted to Oldsmobile, although I love all cars. I've got collected quite a bit of memorabilia over the years, and we love our junk, and I can't get enough of it. But my cars, I'm kind of thinning the herd down now. It's been a rough couple of years for me medically, so but I've still got a 1903 curved dash Oldsmobile,
Oh,
which
very
is
cool.
I've always had a curved dash pretty much my life, and that one will go basically to the grave with me. But I've just sold my 29 convertible six wheel dual side mount car, and that's leaving here probably in the next 2 weeks. But I got an Indy 500 pace car, 442 W30.
Wow. Yeah.
That goes, and I've got a race car that I was racing up until a couple of years ago, and hope to get back if I ever get my medical stuff straightened out, and a couple others, and so it's been an interesting ride.
You got some of the greatest hits in your garage. I love the 442 and the curved dash. Those are two nice bookends, right? Not bookends,
Yeah,
but
and
like two milestones.
and General Motors asked me to restore their Olds Limited, and after it got damaged, and my friend Tim Ollendorf and I did that, and they ended up giving it to me for 5 years to show it at Pebble and elsewhere. So I've had the opportunity to be in one of the biggest cars ever made in an Olds Limited, which, by the way, we got three of them at Hershey this year, which is just
Wow.
mind blowing that we're going to have three at Hershey. So yeah, I've got to be in a lot of great cars.
Yeah, I appreciate your time here today. And I will have to say the last Oldsmobile experience I had, my dad bought a brand new Alero and he loved that car and he had it probably 6 or 7 years, and that's a good
Yeah.
looking car, you know. So
It was a great car. It was just a shame that it was too little, too late for Oldsmobile, and
yeah.
you know that we're getting not too far from the anniversary of Oldsmobile closing, and that's there's 2 days in December that live in infamy: December 7th, December 8th.
All right.
But you know, life goes on, and the name Oldsmobile hopefully will still be around forever, long after I'm gone.
And if you're looking for some of those hard to find Oldsmobile parts, we know where to go and go get them, right?
Yeah, there's that's the other great thing about when you go to Hershey. There's a program. It lists vendors by what they sell for the most part. So I mean, you have a playbook to go by, and you can go searching. And there's a lot of Oldsmobile vendors, but you know, every club you can think of has a meeting here, and uh, it's one heck of an experience. There's no charge to get in. The company that owns the land does charge for parking. That we don't have anything to do with that. But the event is free to come in to the public. So not too many events of this size and nature are free to the public.
Well, I appreciate your time on the Collector Car Podcast, and I will find you sometime on Tuesday, I'm sure. Okay.
I will be there, and you'll see me over at the auction, I'm sure.
Thanks so much, Steve.
All right, thank you, Greg. Good talking with you.